The first person who sees you cry is the cashier at your local used bookshop. "You're still here," they say as you enter, and you begin to reply with the same cheerful tone when your body informs you that this will not be happening. You put all your energy into making the words "it's my last day" sound as casual as you can, and as the tears start to stream down your face, the second half of the thought becomes quite clear, quite quickly. It's going to be a long one. You found the bookshop on the final day before
We currently have 102 cases. We can stop the spread by staying at home and
things changed for a while. They were just closing up, as all of you were, but stayed open an extra few minutes so you could stock up for the weeks ahead. Months ahead? Uncertainty sits in the passenger seat and asks where you're going. The shop looks like somebody's house from the outside, and it's incredible how much that feeling stays with you even once you step through the door. Maybe it's the books, but for some reason the sound of your new city doesn't quite reach here in the same way. Small rooms with low ceilings, and shelves that look like they were put together in someone's garden over a long weekend. There's a typewriter with a sign that says "Please don't touch, I'm fragile," and it makes you smile every time you see it. Enamel pins from local artists, pride flag in the window, the kind of place that already feels like the memory of itself when you're still in it. You bought 3 books for the weeks ahead, but you only read 2 of them. In more recent, more normal times, the people working there had been kind enough to let you sit in a corner and write on your lunch breaks. You could have done it at your job down the road, but it was worth trading 15 minutes for the soft tread of your shoes on a worn carpet, a familiar greeting, and admittedly, the chance to romanticize your life for just a little while. And now it's your last day, and you thought that you'd be better at leaving. The cashier, you do know their name, but strangers don't need to. They tell you it's okay. They take a small breath, offering it as a way through your stuttered, struggling attempts to explain yourself. "I don't need to push through this. I can slow down." You apologize, and they tell you that you don't need to. "I cry all the time," they say. "I don't," you reply with something that only feels like a laugh once it's left your body. You're here to ask them for one more small favour, and your words get stuck halfway again, but they understand and graciously agree to help. You tell them how much their kindness has meant. Not just today, but every day that you've seen them. You think about when the neighbourhood started to feel like somewhere that you lived, and not just a place that your body was right now, and how grateful you felt for the chance to make it yours. You still can't finish a sentence, but you hope the sentiment is clear. This was a good chapter. You were a part of that. Thank you. Packing makes you uncomfortable. If you were being pithy, you would say it's one of your least favourite kinds of time travel, sitting just above sharp memories that interrupt your train of thought with a The problem is that most stuff isn't just stuff. When you think about it, and Lord knows you do, every item is some kind of memory of the past or plan for the future. You know it's going to be sunny there, but this scarf was a gift. One day you'll be someone who has dinner parties, and then you'll need a cheese board. Do you try to hang on to what was, or try to shape what could be? Uncertainty sits in the passenger seat and asks if we missed our exit. You pack books that you've already read and have no set plans to return to. You pack an undeveloped roll of film even though you think the camera was broken when you used it. You pack 2 hats, even though... Your room sounds different now. The sound bounces off the walls. There's nothing to absorb it. You try not to think about how this is all going too fast. You're sitting on your friend's couch and wondering where she's going to put your old lamp. It goes with her things better than it went with yours. She tells you about how much she enjoyed meeting the other people at your goodbye drinks, and you smile to yourself because for a moment that night you just sat back and watched them all. And you imagined the lives and communities they would build with each other, and you felt proud that you got to bring such incredible people together. The pride eclipses the sadness mostly. Inherited friends are a gift that you've been lucky enough to receive. You'll give them back as part of that deal. But then another internal voice interrupts and reminds you that you're leaving out something. In truth, a small part of you is often just a little glad to leave people, or maybe relieved is closer to the truth. It's safer to be a memory, you've told yourself, a character that people enjoyed, but one that doesn't have to be scared of letting them down. The voice reminds you that romanticizing the lives of others in this way is really just romanticizing your own, but with an extra shade of self-indulgence. Look at you, the traveller who brings people together and leaves, who never has to get too close. Aren't you special? Aren't you? Uncertainty sits in the passenger seat and says it's probably better with just the 2 of us. You've looked at this part of yourself long enough to understand it. and it's something you try to uproot without judging it for growing in the first place. But not right now. Because right now your friend is telling you about her cat and her wife and her work, and you make jokes that wouldn't survive in the cold vacuum of the social internet, but they make you laugh in the moment. And your avoidant tendencies are wilting for now, and you're living here, in this room, with your silly conversation that becomes a serious one as soon as someone needs it to, and then back again to the warmth. And you're seeing clearly that the way things are now is good, and you're lucky to have them, and a part of you, a part that deserves nurturing, could do this for years. You have 26 minutes. Would you like another cup of tea? After all these years, you still don't know what duty-free shopping is, although the why of it is self-evident. What duty is being done at non-airport shops? It sounds like a bad stand-up routine, and you're aware that the thought wouldn't hold up to a simple internet search, but your brain has enough noise right now. Besides, the fight to turn every human interaction into a form of commerce can soldier on without you for a few hours. You start to notice the people, and how long-haul flights are a strange no-man's land, and what we wear to them feels strangely revealing. Formal, comfortable, practical. Uncertainty sits in the passenger seat and changes every song before it reaches the chorus. You wear your nice trousers and your comfortable shoes. You only have 2 pairs of shoes, so the choice wasn't that hard. And it's time now. You tell he's one of the best people that you've ever met, and send texts to as many as you can before the plane leaves the ground and you lose connection. You're listening to whatever songs your phone could fit on its limited memory. 64 gigabytes used to be enough before all this life happened. In just under an hour you're going to watch everything everywhere all at once, but just the last 30 minutes. Sometimes crying deserves commitment. But right now you're writing this in your notes app, trying not to think about the woman sitting next to you reading it all over your shoulder. You can't blame her, you'd be curious too. But even if you could speak to her, you don't think you could explain any of this like you'd like to. How after all of it, the best you can do is, this was yours. This was slow down and grow up. This was a good chapter. Take care.